How many times are you willing to do something before you give up? Seriously, think about this for a couple of seconds. If you wanted to do something, if you wanted to achieve something, how many times would you let yourself get knocked down before you gave up completely? Some of you in the audience may naively be saying, I'd never give up. I'd keep going until the task is done. No matter what, I'll succeed. And if that is you, then, well, I admire your optimism, but I need you to think back on all the times that you've started something, all the times that you've tried something, and all the times that you stopped doing it once it got too hard, or it stopped being fulfilling. Have you really never given up on a task? Alternatively, there may be some of you going instantly. The moment that I get knocked down, I stay down. I'm bad, and I know that I'm bad, so what's the point in trying? And if that's you, then I pity you. If you never push yourself, how are you ever going to succeed? How are you ever going to grow? When we push ourselves, we find out things that we never knew about ourselves. We grow and change for the better, and we begin to understand who we are much more deeply. When I started this series, I thought the most difficult challenge would be making out of pools in a major. I got it in 2 tries. I thought that winning my local would be extremely hard. I did it the first time after starting the challenges. I thought the easiest would be getting an aura. It took me 2 tries. But just above that, just above getting an aura, I thought that getting top 16 at a stacked online tournament wouldn't be so hard. Surely it wouldn't be as hard as getting out of pools in a major. Definitely wouldn't be as hard as winning my local, but here we are. Do you know how many times I have attempted this challenge so far? Between the start of the challenge and the last time that I left you all, I have competed in 23 stacked online tournaments. I've successfully made it to top 16 0 times. There's a chance that there's one more group of you in the audience tonight that has an answer to my question. One group that I haven't addressed. There's some of you sitting there watching this, and after thinking about it, how many attempts you would give something, there's only one answer that comes to your mind. I don't know. And if that's you, well, you're wiser than all of us. It's been 6 months since I started these challenges. I have successfully gotten an aura, won my local, and made it out of pools in a major. All that is left is to get a top 16 placement at a stacked online tournament. I won't lie to you guys, failing to make this goal for the past 6 months has definitely done some damage to my mental state, but I knew that victory must just be around the corner. With every loss at this challenge, I got a little bit stronger, failing to even get a single meaningful win for the first 6 runs I did in Salty EU and Salt Mine League. However, I'm closer. So much closer. I can feel it. A lot has changed since I started this challenge. While I still very much look and sound the same, I was forced to switch off my old main, Giovanna, because of the always perfect and never controversial axis balance changes. I saw success with Biken as I was able to make it out of pools at versus fighting 10. I thought I made it out of Evo pools, but I confused myself on how the tournament was formatted, but you know, we ball anyway. With that, I was now set to finish the final challenge. And with my return from Birmingham, I decided to make a bit of a change on how I did these tournament runs. I began streaming them live on twitch.tv/GekkoSquirrel_live for everyone to watch, and it was honestly great. Unfortunately, the first few runs of September weren't very meaningful, so we'll just skip forward and go straight to a run that was very special. The 26th of September was already a very special Salty EU run before I'd even signed up for it. If you don't know, on Twitch there is an event known as September. During September, the amount of money it costs for a sub on Twitch is discounted, without affecting the streamer's payout. So during September, most streamers come up with challenges and goals for their stream based on how many subs they can achieve. I actually participated in September last year, and you guys fucking smashed it. Every goal I set was met by the end of the month, meaning that I had to do some pretty stupid shit. But the penultimate award for September was that I was going to do a Salty EU run in which I played as Giovanna for the entire run. It had been a long time since I had some dedicated time with Giovanna. However, I had been playing her more in anticipation for the possible event, so I wasn't extremely rusty. Honestly, playing Giovanna again was nice, and while my heart now definitely lies with Biken, I can still see the parts of the character that I fell in love with. It's just a shame that I didn't stick with her till the next patch because Jesus did she get buffed. Anyway, I ready my stream, choose Giovanna, and prepare to get to work. Also, unfortunately, I only have the stream VOD of the matches because, I didn't exactly expect to do well as Giovanna, so you're just gonna have to deal with this turning into a highlight video for a bit. My first opponent was Miglio, who is someone that I'm not entirely familiar with. I wonder what character they play.
Are you ready?
Oh my god. Ah! A mirror! Of course! I'm notoriously good at those. Honestly, it's probably for the best that I get a mirror first because I'm not really trained in Geo's current matchups, so something that's guaranteed to be 5-5, I'll take it. There was also something that boosted my confidence a little bit for this match. At the time of the tournament, this man was floor 8. So, oh no! An easy 3-0 to start a tournament. You love to see it. I do feel bad getting a random non-celestial player with low levels as my first round opponent, but if that's how the tournament seeds us, then unfortunately that's how the tournament seeds us, and you're gonna be cruising for a bruising, bud. I sure do hope that karma doesn't instantly repay me by having me fight a high-tier player. Honestly, I'm not sure what's worse. The fact that I have to fight Punisher, who's one of the best Giovannas in the EMEA region, or the fact that I have to fight a fucking Geo Mirror. Again, 2 rounds in a row? Are you serious? Well, I just got warmed up in the mirror at least. Let's see how this goes. Fuck! Personally, I blame the loss on the fact that he stole my color. Punisher is absolutely cracked at the game, but for some reason, every time that I lose to him, I feel like I could have beaten them if I just played a little bit better. This isn't even the first time that I've lost to them in this series, and I was saying this shit back when I lost to them that time. Yeah, well, shit happens, and I got a game, so we move on. Eventually, my opponents finish their match, and I find out who I'm playing. My opponent is Marvel Big Wheel, who is a Kai player. I feel as though I've made my opinion on Kai well known in the past, but for those of you who don't know, fuck this character. Kai is a privileged ass motherfucker who has way too many good tools and no weaknesses to cover them. There was a time on Dustloop where Kai's weaknesses were listed as not known, and the only other character who's ever had that was Base Game Sol. The Kai players bitched about it so much that they made it say that he has low threatening mix and pressure, which is honestly just bullshit, but whatever. You play the hand that you're dealt, and I had to play against Big Wheel. Come on, man, are you serious? I hate character, actually. I hate Kai. I hate Kai so much. Oh, you're so carried, bro! I love Kai so much! I love Kai so much!
Can we not? Fear on the wind.
Slap.
Pretty gallop.
One more. Yeah, okay. I fucked up. Okay.
Please don't move.
Slap.
Please don't move.
Ride the lightning.
This low. Please don't move.
Let's fucking go! You are fucking carried, bro! Ha! The tilt somehow managed to carry me through to winning the entire match with a couple of lucky reads. From this point onwards, I was very much tilted for the rest of the run though. Those sloppy interactions and absolutely spaghetti situations had forced me to nearly go insane, and now I had to take it out on my next opponent.
Are you ready?
It's another mirror match. I think I'm gonna fucking cry. Unfortunately for Mufta Jita though, I was on the warpath. With my tilt lingering and my nerves rising, I had an absolute spurts of energy to carry into this match, and my momentum was staggering. I was prepared to go wild and crazy, and that's exactly what I did.
Please don't move. Still I'm throwing you. I'm throwing you. Guess I don't leave. Hear the sky.
Dice Kick fucking hates me today. Alright, one more.
Please don't move.
Let's go! One more game! One more set! One more set! One more set, chat! While those games were definitely sloppy, I had managed to take the whole set, putting me into losers round 5, one set away from my top 16 spot. I just had to take my momentum and run with it for the win. However, there was something nefarious that got in the way. See, my opponent was actually going to be against a high-level Mei player. However, because I was tilted and extremely nervous, I just assumed that this random Happy Chaos that walked onto my podium was my opponent. Little did I know that that was not my opponent, and this laggy as fuck Happy Chaos was actually just a stream sniper who found me in the park and assumed that I was just down to play games. And this killed my momentum going into this. The lag mixed with the nerves just increased my tilt and had it wash over me completely. I was preparing to message a tournament organizer when my actual opponent showed up. Lament is one of the best Mei players in the EMEA region. I would say that this is once again my bracket luck coming to screw me over, but it would only be fitting that a high-level player would fight me right before our goal. Going into the match, I was not exactly prepared, considering I just fought an extremely laggy Happy Chaos right before this, so I was being caught a little off guard. Not to mention that Mei is the kind of character that absolutely thrives off you tilting, so going into this match with anything that isn't 100% stable as fuck mental is a disadvantage. But all we can do is play, right?
I'm hanging on to the other side. I won't give up till the end of
These are the kind of matches where you really want to say that it was close. We did keep trading games, however, I wasn't able to ever secure a lead or get any good matches off Lament. Losing 3-1 stings, especially when you're right at the end. And this one was a stressful run. I would like to say that I lost with grace, but we both know that I didn't. The stream sniper was easily the biggest thing I pinned the loss on. Would I have won if I didn't get stream sniped? Probably not. Should I have compared the name of the Happy Chaos with the name of my opponent? Yes, definitely. Is this really dumb? Extremely dumb. However, you have to understand that I was in the end game, the closest I had ever gotten to getting top 16. I didn't know who Lament was at the time, and having players who had different in-game names from their challenger name is honestly pretty common. I wanted to take the momentum that I had from the previous games and just fly forwards with it, and I got sniped. This wasn't a malicious act, it was just a misunderstanding. The sniper was in chat, and I do apologize for being very rude for them, but the name of the stream literally said Salty EU Giovanna run, and I was showing the challenger bracket on stream, so you should have put together what I was playing in a tournament and not just against randoms. I'm fucking arguing about a half-a-year-old Twitch run, Jesus Christ. From this day forward, I knew that I had to work on two things. One, my mental, obviously. And two, I need to compare and contrast the names of everyone who I'm fighting in the park and the people that I'm fighting in tournament runs, because I can't have something like this happen again. But still, even after that, I knew I had a good run. I hadn't competed with Giovanna in months at this point, and to come back and instantly get one match away from my goal felt like something out of a storybook. Shame it wasn't the happy ending that I wanted, though. Unfortunately for me, this was somewhat of a fluke on the radar, as for the entire month of October, I didn't even get close to completing the challenge. It was bad. Really bad. October 3rd, got a bye on my round 1 opponent, didn't show up. Good start, right? Shame it was followed by me immediately having 2 3-0s, having finished 33rd with a set count of 1-2. October 10th, have a very tough first match against Scarfed, sending me to losers early on. Get a clean 3-0 before losing the next match. Out at 65th with a record of 1-2. October 17th, win my first match before running into Carrot of Wisdom and being sent into the losers bracket. Then won my first losers only to fall to Summon Crulio. Out at 25th with a record of 2-2. The best placing I did in October. October 24th, win my first match before having an extremely close match with Carlos. Then fall and immediately lose to my first losers match against Wadi, out at 33rd with a record of 1-2. An entire month and not even close to completing my goal. I only went 2-2 once, and the rest of my runs were utterly terrible. Safe to say that this was somewhat taxing on my mental. Combining my constant losses with the fact that I was working pretty hard on the previous episode of this series meant that I constantly felt spent when trying to complete the challenge. The runs started to feel fatalistic at this point. I would win round 1, and then I would face a top tier player, lose, get tilted, and that tilt would cause my downfall in the losers bracket. I felt like I was trapped in an endless cycle where I would just spiral out of control every time I fought a player better than me. But I kept going. I had to keep going. The challenge wasn't done yet, and I had completed every other challenge I set for myself with nowhere near as much difficulty as I did with this one. So every week, I would get myself up, and no matter what, no matter how hard I got my ass kicked, I would always get up and get ready for the next run. Because I knew that even if I kept losing, there would always be next week. The 58th Salty EU tournament was a little quieter than it usually is, with it only having 64 players compared to the previous tournament having 86. I don't mind too much though, since 64 is a nice round number for tournaments, and it still meets the requirements for the challenge. I was going into this tournament with a bit of a disadvantage, as my head was absolutely fucking killing me. Unfortunately though, I was just gonna have to suck up and deal with it. My first match was against an Andy known as Xant Gaming. I had never heard of Xant, and unfortunately for them, today was not the day that they get to prove themselves, as I beat them with an almost flawless 3-0. Please ignore the counter overhead. Oh shit! After the first round, I was feeling pretty good. I'd gotten used to beating my first round opponent, but I was still feeling good to be up 1-0 immediately after starting the tournament. Who was my next opponent anyway? Ah, of course. Pardew is an insanely good player who was seeded to make top 8. At the time, he was an insane chip player who would overwhelm you with his oppressive speed, insane mix-ups, and the ability to force you to feel like you had no idea how to block. So how am I feeling going into this match? And now, chat, it becomes suddenly a lot harder. Yeah, I don't remember who Parter plays. It might be his auto player. Can't remember. Chip? Oh, buddy, okay. Just parry the chip. We will try. So I wasn't exactly dooming about fighting Parter. Who knows, maybe I'd even have this in the bag. Yeah, that was to be expected. At least I got around though, right? With the unceremonious ass beating, I was quickly sent down to the loser's bracket. I won't lie, having an entire month of nearly identical runs like this wasn't exactly doing my mental any favors, but thankfully, I had Twitch chat to keep me company as we waited for our next match. And Jesus Christ did we wait. In fact, we had to wait a full 18 minutes for the next fight, as there were complications for the people that I may end up fighting. I spent this time semi-productively, initially starting out doing a VOD review of my ass beating, before just chatting shit with my chat room. But little did I know that in the background a plan was brewing. Someone was cooking up something nasty, something absolutely foul, in an attempt to make my run just a little bit harder. Before we could get to that though, I had to prepare for my next match. And luckily for me, the bracket gods gave me someone who I've got a lot of experience against. Fredmo is someone that I've ended up sparring with a lot over the course of my journey, but most of you may recognize him from the, unfortunate incident in the team tournament match that I played against him. If you watched that video, you will know that the matches were close, until I busted the Geo out. Knowing that he was going to be my next opponent, I did actually consider bringing Giovanna out of retirement for this match, but it had been a long time since the team tournament, and I'm now much more confident with my Baiken. So I decided to stick with her, at least for the first few matches.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
The momentum was heavily on my side at this point. I had shown that I'm not the same Baiken I was all those months ago, and I knew how to deal with his bullshit. He needed to think of something, and fast. And that's when he pulled out his secret weapon. He didn't know that this was peak Gekko the Ram Slayer time, bro! We beat Ram's asses till they go back to Exxon! A clean 3-0 against Fred put me up 2-1 in the back end, only 2 matches away from my goal. This development seemed to please someone in the chat, but I couldn't focus on that right now. My next match was already ready for me. And thanks to my unusually good bracket luck, this time I was fighting against Sonny. Sonny is a chip player who lives in the north of England. I've actually played against them a lot at offline locals, so I was pretty confident that I knew how he was going to play, and even more confident that I could beat him. I had conquered Zulu before. Sonny was going to be no match for me. Despite it being a little sloppy at the end, I managed to make some nice adjustments and secure myself another shot at top 16. Now there was only one man who was standing before me, someone who had been looking forward to this match for a while. Duck165 is one of the greatest Leo players in the world. Appearing on Wanted several times and even becoming the champion, Duck's laid-back nature and attitude towards the game is contrasted heavily by his ridiculous skill and insane gambits that always seem to work out in his favor. Duck had been watching my bracket run and actually found out that he was able to gatekeep me from top 16, so he was doing just that. This was going to be a ridiculously hard challenge. Before this, there wasn't a single time I'd taken a game off of Duck, and my Leo matchup was pretty sloppy. But I had to try my best. Who knows when I'll get this shot again? I steadied myself, took a deep breath, and dived into the match. It wasn't. enough. While the match was much closer than I expected, I was unfortunately not good enough to be able to take a full match. I fell to duck 2-3, getting a 17th place finish. Another week, another failure. But instead of being angry or upset, I felt good about this run. I wasn't ashamed of how I did. One game away from finally completing the challenge against Duck of all people? This might actually be possible. I just gotta rest up, train more, and give it another shot. Because let's be real, there's always next week. Now, unfortunately for me, the sickness I was feeling in the last run got a bit worse, and I had to focus on myself for a few weeks. I took the time to recuperate my health and my mental before diving straight back into a Salty EU bracket on the 28th of November. Also, because I am an absolute genius, I didn't just record my gameplay. In fact, I once again recorded my entire stream with the overlay and everything. My genius extends to the fact that I didn't go back and record any of the replays for the games either. So the only footage that I have of this event is going to be in the highlight format again. Yay. In fact, I was so much of a genius at this event that I didn't even record my first match of the run. I don't know what happened in this match. Who was this guy? After beating the mysterious round 1 opponent, I was up 1-0 once again. And the curse strikes again because it was time for me to fucking lament. So yeah, Lament pretty easily dealt with me, sending me down to the loser's bracket unceremoniously. The curse is real, dude, I swear to God. I didn't let it affect my mental though. In fact, I was feeling pretty good after getting my ass kicked by Lament. I spent the next several minutes killing time with chat, talking about Baiken, practicing setups, you know, that kind of stuff. Of course though, after a bit, the next match was ready for me.
Are you ready?
At the time, I didn't know too much about UI Lazarus. Even now I don't know too much about them. But they played Sin, and Sin just came out. People don't know exactly how to play Sin. So... an easy 3-0 to get my score up to 2-1 once again, putting me 2 matches away from completing the goal. It's looking good. It's looking real good, honestly. Just gotta keep going, keep that momentum, keep the positivity, and I'll be unstoppable. My next opponent was fucking miles away. Literally a stream match and then a loser's match away. What the fuck? I decided to watch the stream match, but because of the way that my OBS is set up, there is no stream audio, so it's just my commentary. I did see, though, that one of the players was playing Nago, and I don't personally like the Baiken versus Nago matchup. As the game's gone on, Nago has become a less prevalent character over time, meaning that my matchup experience with Baiken isn't as good as all the experience I got when I used to play him all the time as Geo. Because of this, I decided it might actually be in my best interest to actually warm the Geo up once again, just in case I ran into Gibbies. After doing some flashy combos and basic movement in training mode, my match was finally ready, and lo and behold, I was fighting Gibby. Like Fredmo 2 weeks ago though, I decided I should start out playing Baiken just to see how I fare in the match, and then maybe switch to Geo if I'm struggling just a bit too much.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Despite getting absolutely destroyed in the first match, I felt in my heart that Baiken was the right call and decided to stick with her. And that turned out to be the best decision I made this entire run. matches were close, but I pulled through. I once again found myself one match away from top 16. 2 runs in a row, I had made it to this point. The ends had to be in sight soon. I just needed to know who my opponent was. I have no idea who this is. V Kelvin is a Milia main, and I don't really like Milia. So I was going into this match with a bit of a disadvantageous state. In fact, I hate Bike and Milia so much that I actually had to finally bring her back out of retirement. For the first time since the September run, I was going to play Giovanna in brackets. We die here and it's just another week, or we live and we stay as a hero. Giovanna, I need you. Chat room, lend me your energy. Genkidama! Oh my god, what? GG's.
Oh, man.
While the match felt close, it unfortunately wasn't close enough. My rustiness on Giovanna combined with the nerves that I was feeling was not enough to beat V Kelvin. I found myself falling once again at 17th place. I felt like I performed okay, but it obviously wasn't enough. So, another week, another failure. I was close though, but I could feel something creeping up on me. The feeling that time is running out. Let's not worry about that though. Before that, a bigger event was coming. I wanted to try and get this challenge finished by the end of the year so that I could go into the new year preparing to make this video as good as I could. Because Christmas and New Year's have a lot of people traveling to see their family members, there was only going to be 3 sessions of the Salt EU tournaments for the rest of the year. So I set my goal and got ready. Unfortunately for me, the first attempt on December 5th wasn't very good. I ran Descartes in winners round 2 and then instantly fell in the losers bracket to a good Gold Lewis player. So that's another L on the record. This made me take a massive hit to my mental, as I could feel the pressure mounting, and the failure of my run wasn't helping. But hey, there's always next week. December 12th marked the last tournament of the year before the winter patch of Strive came out. Now, I'm not sure if you know this, but I have some pretty rough history with Strive patches, so I wasn't exactly looking forward to this new patch. This run really felt like it was do or die. I'm not really good when things change a bunch. I'm much better when I'm playing on a patch that's been around for a long time. So if I wanted to get this challenge completed, I had to get it done this week. Today I woke up. My lungs felt tight. My chest felt terrible. It hurt to breathe. And I have a really, really bad headache from looking at all these lights. As you can tell, I was once again ill. This time it was even worse than the last few weeks, but we ball. I was ready and prepared for whatever the world threw at me. My first match was against your Kohai Zach. Now, Zach plays Testament and appears to be part of the gang that just loves to use the worst skin imaginable, so I swiftly executed them for their crimes against fashion. After my swift ending of the Kohai, it was time for me to wait for my second match. I would be playing on stream against I Am Axie, a Leo player, but we had to wait for the stream matches to finish. I spent the time in between watching the stream and resting my head as much as possible. But sooner than I anticipated, the match was ready to be played. Now, as you all know, the curse on this channel that if I win my round 1, I then immediately lose my round 2 and get sent to losers. And from the seeding, that's what looked like it was going to happen here, as Axie was seeded to come 13th, whereas I was seeded a disappointing 20th. So the odds were not looking good for me. There was just one small issue, however. With every other round 2 that I lose, I had at least heard of my opponent before facing them. I have no idea who Axie is. I'm sure he must be good, but I haven't heard of him, so the fear and panic that's normally in my chest wasn't as intense this time. So let's see if he was going to force me to learn his name. Despite my famous fumbling of the bag and getting parried for trying to punish a move, I absolutely cleaned house on Axie. And because of that, history was made in my Salty EU run records. I was finally 2-0 up in the bracket for the first time ever. 34 attempts at top 16, 34 online tournaments played, and this was the first time I had ever gotten a 2-0 record. Let's fucking go! I took this as a sign of good faith as I moved onwards to the rest of the bracket. No matter what happened now, I just needed to win one more match in order to get my top 16 placement and finally have this challenge come to an end. Who's my next opponent anyway? Oh, of course it is. Pop quiz. What's the one archetype that I hate more than any other in fighting games to the point where they tilt me beyond belief? If you said grapplers, then you're wrong. It's zoners. It's fucking zoners. It's always zoners. Pinhead is probably the best Axel in the world, so can't be too upset, I guess. Who's next anyway? Again, V. Kelvin, 2 top 16 attempts in a row. Seriously? Alright then, time for round 2. I know Geo doesn't work against this die, and I'm too tired to try and even play her. I guess it's biking all the way. Here we go again.
Slap.
And with those unceremonious lows sealing my fate, it was over once again. One round away from victory, the closest I had ever gotten, but still feeling like a million miles away. Honestly, I don't blame myself for getting angry. I've been trying to keep my mental in check for a long time now, and going back and seeing how I played, seeing the mistakes I made, and remembering the pressure I was under, yeah, it was painfully close. I mean painfully close. But it was over. The next time that I would play Strive, it would be on a completely different version of the game. And fate still had a trick up its sleeve. After I turned off the stream, the sickness that I was feeling throughout the run got worse. It got so much worse. My lungs felt like they were going to explode out of my chest. My head felt like it had been chopped up into 1,000 pieces and scattered all over the world. My body was reaching ridiculously high temperatures, and I felt like I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't drink anything. I could barely breathe. It was the worst I've felt in my entire life. I laid in my bed having fever dreams after fever dreams, simply trying to ignore the pain of existence that my body was in. It ruined my entire week. I somehow managed to get a video out later in that week, and I somewhat recovered, but I was nowhere near in fighting shape after that. The week after was unceremoniously terrible. I came dead last, with a placing of 0-2. I got wrecked by a Faust, and it ruined my mental so much that I couldn't play. The tilt combined with the sickness just ruined me, and just like that, 2022's tournament season was over. I wasn't going to be able to play in a Strive tournament for at least 3 weeks. So with the lack of reason to play, I took a break. I focused on making myself feel better, physically and mentally, as well as doing as much with other people as I could over the holiday season. I went and I saw my family, I saw my friend, I hung out with people, and I took things easy. I even gave myself a week off after forcing a video out while I was sick. I focused more of my efforts on my content and plans for the new year, and I focused on spending time with my friends and spending time on myself. And it made me feel better. A lot better. Giving myself time and space to recover during what could have been the busiest month of my career was exactly what I needed. I've been pushing so hard for so long that I just need to get away from it all. But this wasn't the only thing that was affecting me. There was other things happening in the background. Time was running out, and I knew it was. There was only so much longer I had before things would come crashing down, but I had no idea when. There's only so many next weeks. Everything has to come to an end, right? No, I can't focus on that now. I've got to get this done. I've got to get this finished as soon as possible. Saying that, I actually missed the first Salt EU run of the year, as I was not physically at my PC when the tournament started, so my first run was actually on the 16th of January, and I made sure that I came back with a fucking bang. Once the new year started, the EMEA Strive scene got a massive boost in players, meaning that tournaments that were normally at 60 to 70 people were now easily clocking over 100 people every week. So the challenge just got much, much harder. But I didn't mind. The more the merrier, right? My first match was against Sen KH. Again, I don't know much about Sen. They play Sin, I lose game 1, reverse sweep 3 games, easy game. No problem. Let's go. Let's take that momentum into the next match. My next match was heavily delayed because my opponent's round 1 had both of them dealing with connection issues, and it took them, I shit you not, 29 fucking minutes. 20 fucking 9. I had been streaming for 40 minutes and I had played 1 game. I fucking hate online tournaments sometimes, dude. Jesus Christ. 29 minutes. 29 minutes for round 2. But eventually, finally, my opponent was ready. After waiting for so long that the momentum was gone, it was finally time for me to fight Meanie Meanies, the Leo player. Was I ready? Despite the game being close, I was unfortunately able to not clutch out the game and lost the set 3-2 in the end. I was sent immediately to the losers bracket once again and would have to climb my way through a grueling 5 full games if I wanted to get a top 16 placement. but there was a secret benefit to having my bracket be delayed by 29 minutes. Since this was basically the only part of the bracket to be delayed by so long, the loser's bracket had been filled almost entirely for my path to top 16. And anything else that needed to be completed would easily be done while I was playing. Meaning that for every match after this, I got to play immediately. So, I dusted myself off, picked myself back up, and got to fucking work. With Prismo defeated, I found myself at a comfortable top 32 spot, 2 matches away from a top 16 placement. I was riding high on my wins, but I knew that at this point onwards, it was going to get much harder. How much harder? Well, once I checked the bracket, I realized that I was fighting a familiar face once again. I have fought Carlos several times in the past, so I was no stranger to his insane May and the bullshit that he'll get away with. However, even if I managed to beat him, I would still need to play 1 extra match to get to my top 16 placement. I was nervous, to say the least. However, with all the matches that I had played keeping me warmed up, I was ready for whatever he threw at me. I felt like maybe this time, the match would be different. Two to 3, once again. There were definitely some unfortunate situations, but I had lost to Carlos once again. However, I wasn't angry or upset. It had been a month since I last played in a tournament, so I was happy to perform as well as I did, and I took the set to the final match against someone I couldn't beat just several months ago. I was feeling confident for the rest of the month. If this was my first one of the year, who knows what might happen. Maybe I'll get this done before it's too late. Anyway, enough of that. For the rest of the month, my runs look pretty similar to this, having my highest placing be among the top 32 of players. The only exception to this was the run on the 30th of January, in which I fell in the first round to Fredmo. Wait, what the fuck? What do you mean he's goaded now? What happened? Sorry, Fred, you'll get a montage one day, but, you know, look at the length of the video already, lad. Like, come on. And before I knew it, January was over, and February was upon us. And that feeling that I had before, that feeling that time was running out, was getting stronger. I couldn't tell when time was going to run out, but I could just feel it. The pressure was mounting, and I needed to get this done as soon as I could. So, when February came around, I went ham. The first week of February didn't have a tournament because the TO wasn't available, so I had to wait until the 13th to get rolling again. I came into the tournament warmed up and ready to rock. I was more determined than ever to try and get this done. I've been so close so many times. I have to get it done soon. I have to, right? My first match was against an Axel player going by the name of Justa. However, they had the in-game name of fucking Swag Messiah, so I obviously need to be extremely careful. It's drip or drown, Mr. Swag Messiah. I know that, and you know that, so let's check your fit. Your fit is mid! I took down Justa with no real problems and moved on to my round 2 opponent. Now, normally this is where I run into a top tier player who will easily beat me and send me down to the loser's bracket. However, thankfully for me, I just got a match against somebody who's close to my seeding, so it would hopefully be an even game. This is Guessing Game, and they're a Gold Lewis player. I will admit that my Gold Lewis matchup isn't the best, but according to the seeding, this should be a pretty close game. So let's see how I do. That was easily one of the closest matches of Strive I've ever played, but I clutched it out in the final round and took the dub. After an extremely close set like that, it makes you feel so powerful, like you can fight anyone, destroy anyone. My next round opponent didn't know what they were in for. Who is it? Let me at him. Tiger Pop. Ah, shit. For those of you who may have forgotten, Tiger Pop is one of the best heavy chaos players in the world. The last time that I fought him was at Versus Fighting, where he cleanly 3-0'd me. So, well, it was still 3-0, but it was a much better attempt this time. For example, I actually hit him in the first 2 rounds, and I baited his burst, and I took a round, so see, that's a massive improvement. Still doesn't stop me from landing in loser's bracket though. With my unceremonious loss to Tiger Pop, I found myself outside of top 32 in the loser's bracket. If I wanted to reach my goal, I had to win 3 more matches without losing. It felt doable, but the pressure was definitely there. And because online tournaments always manage to fuck themselves over, I had a long time to wait between matches. This is the point of the script writing where I realized how genius of an idea it was to actually stream these runs instead of just doing them on my own. Like before, when I had to wait between matches while recording, all I could do is sit there on my own, listening to music and maybe watching a YouTube video. Maybe sometimes I would have a friend to message or talk to, but most weeks it was just me in my room alone. But when I streamed my runs, I had you guys alongside me to cheer me on, pick me up when I felt down, and most importantly, stop me from getting bored. Once I finished reviewing my VODs, I got a chance to just talk to you guys about different things, and it was the best part of the run for me. So, thank you guys. After a while, my next match was ready, and it was against Shang Badong. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. And what proceeded was the stupidest mirror match in any fighting game ever. Why did you get hit? Why? I fucking, every time it happens, it's so funny. Keep it simple! Stupid! Let's go! Jesus fucking Christ, why was that 3-2? What started out as a funny mirror match turned into my brain overloading trying to figure out how to beat someone who played exactly like me. It was like he knew everything I was going to do, but I knew everything he was going to do because he knew exactly what I was going to do. But he knew everything I was going to do because he knew that I knew exactly what he was going to do because he knew exactly what I was going to do. Strange, isn't it? Despite that, I proved myself to be the superior Viking by a fraction of a decimal, and moved on to top 32 once again. The next match, once again, fuck that. The next match was against Coenza 5, an Ino player. Ino isn't exactly the strongest character right now, but that also means that she isn't the most common character. So my matchup knowledge was somewhat lacking going into this match. In fact, I had a pretty bad track record against Ino players. Apart from the win against Vulcanist that saved my mental in this challenge, I've basically lost all sets against Inos that I've fought since then. But that's just how these things work, unfortunately. So let's see how I do.
Slap.
No! I accidentally jumped! It's fine, chat. Damn. Out at 32 again. I feel like I'm definitely better than I was, and I'm at least more consistent, but Jesus. These 100-player brackets are kicking my ass. I was at least still positive after everything that happened. It's so weird. At the start of the journey, I was crying about every loss to the point where I wanted to quit and give up before I ever truly started. Now I can get right before the goal, and while I can still get emotional from time to time, I feel fine, mostly. Top 32, 2 matches away from the goal? Yeah, bro, shit happens, we ball. I can't exactly pinpoint what it is that's making me feel so much better. Maybe it's because I was seeing my friends more, maybe because I was taking better care of myself. Maybe it was the black mold slowly turning me insane. Who knows? But I wasn't upset, I wasn't distraught, I was happy. I was doing good. But I still need to get better, right? Like, I can't just be happy being so close. And who knows how long I have left before I can't do this anymore, right? So, what do you do if you want to get better at something? Well, if you want to get better at something, you have to find the good players, and you have to learn from them, right? And where in EMEA would the best players culminate in order to prove how good they are? If only a top player started a tournament series on the weekend for the best players to test their skills against each other. Fun fact, you know that Tigerpop started running his own tournament? Reload is a tournament series run and hosted by Tigerpop, focused on simply giving the EMEA region something to do every other Sunday. I managed to participate in the first Reload tournament on the 19th of February. Originally, I didn't know if I was going to play or not, but I managed to find the time and give it a shot. I didn't stream my run either because I didn't want to do 2 tournament run streams back to back, so I got none of the benefits of streaming my run like I listed before. I wasn't here exactly thinking that I was going to be able to complete the run in this bracket because this bracket is even more stacked than your standard Salty EU run, but it would be great practice. My first match was against Evader, a chip player. I don't know much about Evader, but I have some good experience with chips, so this match didn't take too long and was a pretty clean sweep. After that, I had a much harder challenge ahead of me.
Are you ready?
No way. Vilka is one of the best chip players in the world. I don't know much more about them than that, and if I'm honest, I didn't even know that coming into this match. I just assumed that they were a decent player. So I went into this match basically blind and filled with my normal amount of confidence. Let's see how I do. On my head. Yes! Let's fucking go! I didn't realize how big this was at the time, but I managed to take a set off of a high-level player. And I hit him with a fully charged 5D. Like, what the fuck? I was riding high off this victory, but unfortunately it didn't last long. I had to then fight Space on stream and got absolutely demolished. A complete 3-0 sweep. It was actually so bad where I don't want to show me getting destroyed in this video. Okay, fine, I'll show you one clip. That is all you're getting of that match. This means I was sent to the losers bracket, but I was feeling alright. 2-0 in the winner's side of the bracket, winning against the top player. I'll absolutely take it. But into the losers bracket I go. My first losers match was against Meister Bob, the Giovanna player. I was feeling a bit down after getting 3-0 by Space, but the show must go on, right? So I got myself ready and played the best I could. Damn, I fell immediately. This run was a good learning experience and a nice ego boost after the fact, but I still felt like I had a long way to go, which isn't good because time is running out. But it's fine, as instead of waiting an entire week for my next shot at the challenge, the next shot would be the very next day. The next day, I got ready to play in Salty EU once again. I was feeling okay. There was the slight ego boost after defeating Vilka, but still pretty much feeling the same as usual. It was just another week in Salty EU. My first match was against Curdy99, a Sin player. Considering that they're a low-level floor 10 Sin, I can imagine that you know how this one goes, so we'll just skip the first game 3-0. After that, I have to fight against Alexiad, the Ramlethal player. Now, Alexiad actually had a bye because the bracket was so big, but they weren't seeded too much higher than me, and they play Ramlethal, so I'm not too worried about this. After all, I've gone 2-0 in winners several times now, so I'm sure that I'll be fine. Oh, well the curse strikes again, I guess. This puts me in loser's bracket well before top 32, meaning I had a long way to climb if I wanted to get my top 16 spot. My next opponent was Anna, a Milia player. I've made it well known how I feel about Milia, but thankfully for me, they didn't put up too much of a fight, and I was able to take the set 3-1. After that, it was HL Scarecrow, the Faust player. I'm getting all my worst characters back to back, ain't I? Listen, I hate the Faust matchup. I hate it so much. Faust versus Baiken is a desperate struggle for the Baiken player to try and get in without being able to use any of her Kabaris at all unless she conditions the fuck out of the Faust first. And then when she is in, she has to rely on stagger pressure and TK mix-ups because, again, you can't use Kabari in the matchup because he just crawls under it and his range is just insane. So the moment that you mess up, you're back at full screen and you're gonna do the whole thing again. And it's so fucking annoying. I hate this matchup. He should have stayed bottom 1, seriously. These were all of the thoughts that were going on in my head as I went into this match. So how did I do? Well... Not the mini foul. No! Like, what?
What's going on? What's going on?
Damn, you beat me one match with my fucking worst matchup in the game? Damn, bro. That's crazy. Anyway.
Give me a break.
I don't understand what's going on here.
The Geo switch actually worked, and I managed to move on through the bracket with a 3-1 victory. I was still pretty tilted, but now I know that I can go back to Geo if shit is looking dire. After that match, I got a chance to de-tilt and wait for my next match. And it wouldn't be a GekkoSquirrel 1 if I didn't get my top 3 most hated characters back to back now, would it? SBF, or Sweaty Bomb Fluff, that's what his name stands for, is an extremely good Kai player. I hate Kai. I've already explained in this video why I hate Kai. He's an overprivileged character with too many tools. And SBF is an extremely good Kai. If I wanted to win this, I would have to stay calm and play out of my mind.
ね
Slap.
It wasn't enough. I fell in the bracket with the score of 3-2 at a meager 48th place. 3 matches away from my goal. It's alright though. It's gonna 100% be alright. I still got time left. I don't know how much time I have left, but time is still there. I just gotta keep going. It's only a matter of time at this point. I've come so close so many times, but it's gonna be alright because there's always next week. In the afternoon of the 21st of February, 2023, at around 3:30 in the afternoon, I got a call on my phone from a number I didn't recognize. It was from a letting agency that was representing my landlord. They were calling to say that the rent hadn't been paid, and as a lodger, they were wondering if I could cover what the tenant owes. I was confused because I thought the rent had been paid. It clearly hadn't. I had a chat with my flatmate later that day, and she couldn't afford to pay the rent anymore. The next day at 1:10 p.m., Wednesday the 22nd of February, we were handed our eviction notices. We had 2 months to leave. I knew that this was possibly going to happen at some point for several months now. I don't want to get into the personal lives of someone who can't speak for themselves, but this wasn't something that 100% blindsided me. But I thought I had more time. Hell, part of me thought that the day might never come, but here we are. This kinda broke me. I didn't really know how to feel or what to think. I didn't want to do anything anymore. I just kinda wanted to stop existing. Just kinda wanted to disappear from the world and have no one remember that I was there. It wasn't even my fault, but I felt like a failure. Like, somehow I caused this, and I didn't have the means to fix it. I was being forced out of my own home, the place that I'd spent the last 1.5 years of my life because of something out of my control, and it made me feel awful. I didn't want to work, I didn't want to stream, I didn't want to play Strive. Hell, I didn't want to play any video games at all. I just wanted everything to freeze right there and then. Fuck the rent, fuck the landlord, fuck this bullshit, fuck Strive, fuck the challenge. I had other things stressing me out, okay? I didn't want this. I didn't deserve this. It's not fair. It's not fucking fair. Fuck that. What's the point of that? What's the point of any of this? The past 1.5 hours has gone, and we've been spinning our wheels, going literally fucking nowhere. I haven't had a top 16 chance in December, and now I've got to stress about being kicked out? What the fuck am I supposed to do, man? I just wanted to give up. End the challenge right there and then. Sorry guys, life got in the way, can't get good anymore, womp womp. But I couldn't just do that. That's not the ending anyone wants to see. I technically have some time left, a few weeks, maybe. I didn't feel like it, I felt like shit, but I decided to do the thing that I do every week. Call it force of habit, call it desperation, call it coping, call it insanity. I don't know what it was. But Monday came around, like it always does, and I turned on my OBS, I signed up for the tournament, and I decided to play Strive. How's it going, chat room? It's so EU once again. We're doing it. It's happening. I'm gonna be 100% fucking real with you, chat. It's not going great. If this week is the week, it's gonna be by a fucking miracle. 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 Oh, it's a pot. I wanna say thanks. I don't know how. Alright, he's gone, he's gone. What a legend. What a fucking legend. No way! I have to fight Fox. No way. No way. What?
Get on to rock, get up to burn, stand with the pride and burn for your desire.
Fox, you bastard.
One day I noticed that my life was broken. It was not me who was controlling this body. Oh, I want to know what's really real to me before it vanishes like a wave. Get on the rock, get up the burn, step in the pride on me, the ways to make it. You must have heard it. Grasp the truth, hold it high, right feet, that's what it made to start with. You haven't heard it, girl. Don't be afraid to listen to your own heart. Big fast sonic, that's my heart beating you. One day I noticed that the world was broken. Spoiled out hell, we had ourselves this down. Oh, I won't see this whole world falling through.
That sometimes the difference between life and death is knowing your opponent.
Get up the rock, get up the barrel, stand with the pride on me, the ways to make it. You must have heard it. Grasp the truth, hold it high, raise your voice, that's how you start a new thing. You must have heard it now. Don't be afraid to listen to your own heart.
Alright, chat, so that means that we're 2-0 up in winner's side. The person we're going to have to fighting next is probably Punisher. And catch a break, huh? There's always next week.
Why do I have to fight Envy, bro?
We 3-0'd Envy, boys! From here we have a clean shot to top 16.
Huh? It's over already? Oh, please. What happened to the results of your training? Come on, let me enjoy this a bit. That was easier than I thought. Mangle them!
We're going, chat! We're going! Chat room, we are in 17th place. That means if we get this win, it's over! We get this win? We're 16th. If not, it's just another salty EU week, innit? I want to get good at Guilty Gear Strive.
Yes!
It's small.
Oh, shut up.
If I had a comrade, I wonder what I would tell them. Yes, I knew the answer.
Yes! We did it! We fucking did it! We did it, chat!
仇討ち是非なし阿鼻に天のホース成敗お
We
金
finally did it! We finally did it!
何とぞよし
Oh
な
my
に
God!
閻魔殿
It's over! It's over! I did it. I finally did it. Oh, it's finally over. I finally made top 16. I didn't get much further than that, but it doesn't matter. It's finally over. 40 attempts. 40 full tournament runs. And I finally managed to get top 16. From going 0-2 for several months, not being able to take a single game off of anyone, to blasting through the tournament, taking down old rivals that used to strike fear into my heart, and finally clasping it. I've done it. I've done it. It's over. It's finally over. Let's fucking go! So, that's it. After nearly a year, I finished all of the challenges I set out to do. Some of them were relatively easy, others weren't, but I can finally say that I've done it. I've finally gotten good at Guilty Gear Strive. It's nice to actually finally say it. It's finally over. So, now what? Well, for that, we should talk about what happened after I finished the challenge. I played in a few solid EU tournaments, but I never got a top 16 placement again. In my defense, I was busy getting evicted, and I needed to figure out what I was doing. During the time, Arx's servers decided to finally give up, and now no one can consistently play the game online. Wait, that's not a good thing. Because of this, basically every online tournament has to be cancelled, so you can't play in them anymore. It's pretty good that I finished the challenge in February, huh? Hello, last minute editing Gekko here. So, several of the tournaments that had to close their doors before have started letting people play again and started running again. There was also the patch that dropped literally yesterday that was supposed to patch some of the stuff out, fix some of the exploits. However, it is kind of undetermined on how effective it's been. So, the tournaments are kind of back, but not really. It's kind of weird. On my side, though, I moved in with my grandparents, and the router is so far away that I can't consistently run a cable to it, meaning I only have a wired connection when I'm streaming. So, if I'm not playing on stream, I'm basically not playing fighting games online at all. My competitive drive is still somewhat there, but it's hard to practice and compete when I'm only able to really play in offline events, you know? So, what happens now? Well, I like to think that when people stop pushing themselves, when they stop trying new things and just fall into the same old routine, they begin to stagnate and deteriorate. If you never truly challenge yourself to do anything, you never grow. You just sort of stay the same or get even worse. I try to make every video that I make the best that I can, and I always try to push the boundaries of what I can do and can't do in a week. So far this year, I've tried and mostly succeeded on making a video every week, with the only exception being this month where I took an extra week to make sure that I could get this video as good as it could be. And I think I've done a pretty good job. After all, every video that I've made so far has something that I feel like I can be proud of in it. Being it just being a genuinely great video, or being the fact that it was made in a shorter time frame than I thought possible and still reaching a high quality. The first video this month was made in 1 day, and I haven't even started writing it yet. So, I'll still keep challenging myself. I want to keep pushing myself to get better and better, but will it be with Strive? I don't honestly know. Listen, my life and the fighting game community are both in a bit of a weird transitional phase right now. Strive servers are still pretty much broken. Street Fighter 6 comes out in literally 1 week, and I'm only able to use a true Ethernet cable 3 of the 7 days of the week. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe I'll progress on to Street Fighter 6 and I'll love it so much that I do a version of these challenges in that game. Maybe I'll stick with Strive and give myself even harder challenges. Shoot for top 8 or something, I don't know. Maybe I move on to different fighting games entirely, or just a different game genre. I might be an Omega Striker YouTuber in a year, who fucking knows? But I can guarantee you that my journey isn't over yet. For now, we celebrate the accomplishments that we have achieved. We can drink merry and party until the sun comes up. We can bask in the glory and take pride that we were better than we were when we started. We can look back and laugh at everything we accomplished, all the mistakes we made, and how they inevitably led us to victory. But at some point, the celebrations come to an end, and we will continue down the path. So as soon as the sun rises, it sets, and the day goes on. But as long as we keep pushing ourselves, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. We can fail, and fail, and fail as many times as we need to. But we know that we can always get back up and try again. Because no matter what life throws at us, no matter how hard things get or how impossible tasks may seem, we can keep going. Because at the end of the day, when everything is said and done, we know that there will always be next week. Oh, thank you all for watching. This has easily been the longest and hardest video to work on, but it's finally over. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you want to see some behind the scenes stuff, I'm streaming on Twitch right now, but of course we have some very special people to thanks. So, as always, thank you to my tier 2 patrons: 64 MHz, Almost Nap Time, Bantushitos, Ben from Canada, Brodica, Savantis de Leon, Daniel Wiederich, Dragonprox, Games.png, I Am Naoto, Jacko Reeves, Lady Dantalon, Marcel Penrat, Melodically Me, Monact Enhoa, Ray W, Super, Forcon, Tom Tanks, and Zandatsu for being tier 2 patron supporters. Thank you all so much.